Hey guys, Kay Whitaker here with KayWhitaker.com. I am coming to you this morning shooting a video to answer some of the questions that I posted earlier this week on my Facebook page. So before I get into that though, let me say this. I kind of like doing these videos. It makes it a whole lot easier to write a blog post. Everybody I talk to, they laugh at me because I tell them how much I hate to write. But I understand the importance of blogging. So instead of writing the things that I want to talk about, you get to hear from me in more of these videos. Woohoo! Just wanted to put that out there. Okay, now back to the questions at hand. Earlier this week, I asked a question and it asked if any of you are ready for the new year that's getting ready to come up. As you know, this is a shopping time of the year. You probably are going to be inundated with holiday shopping, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and I wanted to know if your business was ready for the influx that it could possibly get from this time of year. People are in a buying season right now. They're in a buying state of mind, so wanted to see if you were ready. And not surprisingly, I thought that I would get some response that some of you weren't ready, that you didn't really understand how to plan for the holidays or how to plan your marketing year out in general. So I thought it'd be a good idea just to share a little bit of insight on how you might be able to get that done. Now, let me say this. The things that I share in these videos are all from personal experience. It's all from what I do as a business. It's all from what I've done in a corporate realm with sales and marketing planning. So I want to make sure that you understand that this is not a one-stop all cookie cutter kind of deal. This actually requires some tweaking, maybe, depending on the nature of your business. But if you follow the process, the main thing is following the process, you should get the kind of results that you need to get. So how do you plan for the year in general? First, let me say this. Do not think that you need to stop everything that you're doing right now and start planning for your year. It's the holiday time. If you already have sales that you can implement for the holiday, stick to those. What I want you to do though is look further into the future and say, okay, if I could plan out my whole marketing calendar for the year, then all I'm working on is promoting and making sure that I'm in the right place at the right time so the right people can buy my product or my service. That's where I want your mindset to be. But right now, since the question was asked, I do want to answer it, but I won't go into a whole lot of detail right now because I don't want it to be something that keeps you off of what you're already doing. So 3 quick tips that I want to share, and then I'm going to hop off of here. Try not to keep this for too long. I'm learning that with talking on videos, I get kind of winded, so I need to have something to drink, and I don't have anything right here with me right now. So don't want to hold you too long for my sake this morning. It's kind of selfish reasons. But one of the first things that I do when I'm planning my marketing calendar is I look at the year as a whole. So typically I start planning my year in July. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, I'm slower during the summer months. I have my kids at home, so I'm not doing a whole lot of business to client relationships. Kind of have some other things in place that are earning income for me so that I don't have to do a whole lot of work. So it's downtime. So in the downtime, I can think a little clearer about what I want my next year to look like. So that'd be my suggestion for you. When you're planning for your year, planning your downtime, don't plan at a busy time of season right now, because you're not going to be able to focus like you need to focus on what you want to get done for the following year. So in July, when I'm planning, I'm looking at my year from a whole 12-month standpoint, from August to August. And I look back over the previous year. And I want to identify those things or events that I did last year that are going to take place again in the following year. So these might be staple events. If you're a speaker or a coach and you offer some type of service business, maybe there's an event that you host every year that you know for sure it's in the spring. So you need to identify those things and put them on the calendar for the time of year. This is not saying that you have to have a date. This is just saying that you need to know the season. So if it's a spring event and that you have it every March, then you need to put that event in March. And likewise for any other events that might be staple events for you for the year, put those on the calendar. Once you have those events identified, then start to look at the holidays. Now, retail businesses, this really works for you because if you have a product or something tangible to sell, then most times retailers, they're throwing sales out around the holidays because people are in the mood to shop around the holidays. So look at the holidays for the calendar, not personal holidays for yourself that you would celebrate from a personal standpoint, but staple holidays that are celebrated nationwide. Whether you believe in them or not is not the question. Whether your audience knows about them is the next question. So perfect example, Christmas is coming up in 2 months, and what are we seeing? We're seeing Toys R Us on TV running Christmas ads so that parents can start to get in the mindset to shop for their kids for Christmas. Halloween can't get gone fast enough before you start to see Christmas stuff. Thanksgiving is a major holiday, but it's not a holiday that you have to shop for, so it doesn't require as much ramp up. But for Christmas, everybody wants, and I'm using Christmas because Christmas is coming up, everybody wants to start throwing out the Christmas stuff because it's something that you have to buy for. So you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's is getting ready to come up, and I'm going to be completely honest, you will see a whole lot of New Year's resolutions advertising from me here in the next couple of weeks, because New Year's is a time where people want to implement change. So service-oriented businesses, this is really good for you, because if you have something that can change someone's situation, then New Year's is a really good time to ramp yourself up, ramp your service up. But you need to know the seasons for your industry as well. So, and this is saying you have no experience with identifying seasons or anything. This is just saying this is a good way to start. So if you're looking at holidays is a good way to identify seasons. And when you're looking at the holidays, if you have something that you can put on sale, put it on the calendar. Again, doesn't have to be very specific, just needs to say, okay, I'm gonna have a Christmas sale, I'm gonna have a New Year's sale, I'm gonna have a President's Day sale, I'm gonna have a Memorial Day sale, I'm gonna have a back to school sale, I'm gonna have a Labor Day sale. You start to think like that, and then they're on the calendar. And even at this time, I'm not saying what I'm selling, I'm just saying these are the sales that I want to have. And then after I identify the sales that I want to have, I go and look at my services. I'm a service-oriented business. I don't have tangible products yet. They're coming. But if I want to sell something that is service-oriented and I want to create a sale around it, then I go and look at what programs that I have. I've got the social lab that I just created for people to learn social media. I've got Project 180 that I've had, which is one of my staple coaching programs, where it's a 6-month program. When do I want to launch these programs? And again, I told you, I am a mother, so I want to make sure that I don't have a lot of client interaction during the summertime. So with Project 180 being a 6-month program, you'll see it coming up in January. I'll launch one in January, then I'll launch another one in August. And yeah, they overlap, but I look at the programs that I have and I say, okay, when do I want to open them up? Or when do I want to push them so that it is conducive to my time, but it makes sense for my client as well. So Project 180 is going to be a really good one for the new year, because it is something that is life-changing. So I'll push it out for the new year because that's the season to put it out. Excuse me, I'm spitting. For the new year. So what did we talk about? We talked about looking at your calendar and putting down your staple events. We talked about looking at the seasons, not the seasons, I'm sorry, the holidays, and looking at the holidays to see what they are and see if you want to have a sale around the holiday. And then the next part of that is going to be the season. If you've got a fall, summer, winter, spring type item that is very seasonal, then you start to look at the seasons and start to put those on the calendar as well. So now I've got 3 things on my calendar. I've got my major events, I've got my sales, and then I've got my seasonal promotional items that I have on my calendar. And then with those 3 things, I can go back and start to get a little bit more specific and detailed for the planning. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to jump into each of those individually. I'll create some other videos in the future to tie those all together, but I wanted to give you a starting point. So again, I'm going to say this. It is the holiday season. If you don't have a holiday plan already, then just focus, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to look at the whole calendar. Now is not a good time to do that. But if you know that Thanksgiving is coming up, it's too late for an event, possibly, unless you're some type of superhero that can throw an event together for the holiday, but I doubt it. I wouldn't take on that, and I do events all the time, so I wouldn't take that on. But what if you've got a promotional item that you can start selling right now that can be good for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's? Maybe it's the same item and you run it for all 3 holidays. And then maybe you've got something seasonal. It's getting ready to be winter here shortly. Maybe you've got an item that would be really good for the winter time. Maybe it's a good time to start promoting that. And then you write those 3 things down. You keep that calendar in mind, and when time permits for you to do a full out year, then you sit down and do some of the things that I talked about. And there'll be tons of videos coming that will be an extension of what we talked about here, but that's your starting point. And hopefully that will help you get some things together so that you can start to think about planning for your year. I hope that answered your questions. I know it was brief. I know it wasn't a whole lot of details, but I at least wanted to answer that question for you to get your brain moving, if that makes sense. So this is going to be on the blog. So my suggestion would be, I do post these on social media all the time, but as you know, Facebook, so one day you'll see something I posted and the next day you may not. If you don't want to miss anything, subscribe to the blog. The link will be, well, you'll be on the blog watching the video, so just make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll make sure it's down below. That way when I do these updates, they'll be there and they'll come directly to your inbox. I am going to post it on YouTube. You can subscribe to YouTube, but I'll be completely honest, I use YouTube to post the videos to share them everywhere, so I'm not a YouTube community person just yet, coming, but you know, I understand video, and that's a whole nother conversation for another time. I'm not going to go there. But most importantly, subscribe to the blog to make sure you don't miss any of these updates. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. You can send me a direct message on Facebook, or you can tweet me, AskKae, AskKae, hashtag, with any questions on Twitter, and I'll follow that as well and be able to answer you there. Again, this is really short, really brief. Hope it helped. And if you have any questions, reach out to me and let me know. Talk to you guys soon, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend since it's Friday. Bye-bye.